I want to say a few words about Eretz Yisrael, though, about Eretz Yisrael altogether. Aside from all of course, this is home. There's no question this is home. There are some aspects of Jewish values that are so much built into the society, from and not from alike. There are so many things that are built into the society that you just don't have in Chutz La'aretz. Let's start with priorities, sane priorities. Perhaps it's because we're surrounded by enemies and we go from war to war. Perhaps. Baruch Hashem, Israel is far from a third world country today. At the same time, nobody here lives for gashmiyut. Nobody here sees comfort as the number one value.
This is, by the way, unbelievably true. I noticed this literally the day I made Aliyah 5 years ago, and I landed. I immediately noticed that people were on their phones less here. There was practically, again, in Ramat Beit Shemesh, where I was living at the time, and it's probably even more true in many other places, there is such little drive for amassing wealth. Nobody here drives nice cars. In fact, if you pull up to shul in a Lexus, you will get the opposite reaction of that which you will get in America. In America, people will, I remember living in Lakewood, Toms River, I remember when the Teslas were first becoming popular, people were pulling up in Teslas with those folding doors that go up or something. And I remember people from shul literally stopping learning and flocking outside to check out the new cars and this guy's new cool gadgets. Insanity. In Eretz Yisrael, if you pull up to shul in a fancy car, people will actually look at you awkwardly, like, why would you have spent so much money on a vehicle that gets you from point A to point B when you could have spent a quarter of that for a vehicle that would equally get you from point A to point B, and you could have spent that money on something better or given it to charity or whatever it is. It is again, it cannot be expressed properly without you living here. People here, now of course the rules are not 100%, they don't apply to every single human equally perfectly, but overall the mentality here is there is so much less of a drive for money, for physicality, and this is one of the key features that are built into the land of Eretz Yisrael. Hashem made it that way. People say, well, I come to Eretz Yisrael, I can't make as much money. That's kind of true. It's harder to make money here, but for very good reason. This is not a land where you're supposed to make money. Money pulls you away from ruchniyut. It pulls you away from your connection to Hashem. Less money and more focus on family and Torah and spirituality brings you closer to Hashem. And it's built within the nature of Eretz Yisrael. It's a land of ruchniyut. It's not a land of gashmiyut. Therefore, naturally, like even Rav Berkowitz said, you would think that this is something that applies only to the frum Jews, the Haredi Jews. But like Rav Berkowitz just said, this is really something that applies even to the secular Jews here. I've been to stores where you have the owners are completely not religious, and they'll just be shutting down their store to go hang out with their family in the middle of the day. And I would ask, what are you doing? Why are you closing down the store? And they would just look at me like, I don't want to work right now. I just want to go home. And there's no obsession with needing to be the best store on the block, the best customer service, needing to amass as much money as possible. It's just, I work just enough to pay my bills, and then I want to just hang out with my family or learn Torah or whatever your situation is. So this is also a point that it cannot be stressed enough that the feeling here, the capability to be able to connect to Hashem on a spiritual level here is so much easier. It's built into the system.